Imagine an employee trips on a pallet in your warehouse. He's a good worker, he's been with you for years, and he simply asks if he can go see his own family doctor to get checked out. An accommodating gesture can expose your business to $100,000 in unnecessary costs. In Florida workers' compensation, medical care is the currency of the claim. The treatment dictates the diagnosis, the timeline, and the ultimate price tag. By letting the employee pick their own doctor, you immediately transfer control over the entire trajectory of that claim away from your company. This creates a difficult tension for business owners. You have to weigh your desire to show genuine workplace empathy against your fiduciary responsibility to protect the company. It forces a highly practical question. Is the administrative effort of actively vetting and selecting medical providers worth the time for an injury that hasn't happened yet? Protecting your bottom line requires you to separate emotional empathy from your legal liability. Florida law offers a powerful tool for employers. Under Florida Statute Section 440.13.2, you have the explicit authority to direct medical care. The law gives the employer the primary right to direct an injured worker to a specific medical provider. You hold the pen. The statute ties this power to immediate action. If you fail to name a provider the moment an injury is reported, your authority to direct care evaporates. This diagram shows the two divergent paths when an injury occurs. Path 1. Letting the employee choose their doctor strips your oversight and hands control to their attorney. Path 2. Proactively directing care secures your legal position and timeline. Holding on to that statutory advantage requires proactive work. You have to evaluate your local medical options before you ever need to use them. When making that evaluation, employers generally choose from 3 tiers of medical providers. Each tier carries a distinct return on investment for the business. This comparison matrix filters those choices through 3 vital criteria. Does the clinic understand work capacity? Do they actively prescribe light duty? And do they allow employer control? Let's look at the first input option, allowing the employee to see their personal family doctor. A family physician typically has no context for your specific job descriptions or what functional capacity means in your warehouse. Without that context, their default move is to write a note for extended time off. While this provides comfort for the employee, it leads to an extended absence and heavily inflated claim reserves. The second option is defaulting to the closest unvetted 24-hour urgent care facility. This achieves immediate medical compliance, but these generic facilities lack specialized occupational training. They often struggle to define clear, actionable work restrictions. Choosing urgent care removes the burden of pre-planning, but risks dragging out the claim timeline because the provider doesn't know how to transition the worker back to the floor. The third option is utilizing a pre-vetted occupational medicine clinic that already holds your specific light-duty job profiles on file. These specialists operate on the methodology that work is therapy. They treat the injury while keeping the employee engaged and maintaining your workplace productivity. It requires upfront administrative effort to build that relationship, but OcMed yields the highest ROI by tightly controlling disability duration and overall costs. Selecting the right clinic on day 1 puts you in a strong position, but it is not a permanent victory. Under Florida law, an employee can officially request to fire your chosen doctor at any point in the claim, which instantly threatens your operational control. This timeline illustrates the strict legal window that opens the exact moment that written change request hits your desk. You must have administrative protocols in place to catch these requests immediately because you have exactly 5 days to provide the employee with a new doctor. If you meet that deadline, you retain your legal right to pick the second physician, keeping the claim under your supervision. But look what happens if administrative lag or a simple oversight causes you to miss this tight 5-day window. The statutory authority instantly transfers away from you and goes to the employee's attorney. They will likely pick a provider with no incentive to utilize your light-duty options. Preventing a hijacked claim requires hyper-vigilant management and 0 administrative lag. These protocols protect your right to direct the medical outcome. Let's step back and look at the entire strategic landscape of administrative effort versus financial risk in Florida workers' comp. This quadrant chart maps exactly how your upfront preparation directly influences your long-term liability. If you rely on unvetted emergency rooms or family doctors, you spend very little effort today, but you expose your business to high financial risk tomorrow. Conversely, the proactive strategy of utilizing vetted occupational clinics and enforcing strict timeline protocols requires effort up front, but dramatically lowers your financial risk. Empathy-driven employers should recognize that surrendering medical control often bloats reserves and complicates the recovery process. You can support an employee's health while still exercising your legal right to choose the provider. And for the process-driven employer, relying on generic urgent cares for convenience leaves massive efficiency and cost savings on the table. Florida's statutory advantage exists to protect your business, but that protection evaporates the moment leadership fails to assert it. Pre-vet your clinic, prepare your job descriptions, watch the 5-day clock, actively secure your bottom line.